The film begins in the serene city of Portland, with a lush forest where two individuals reside. A father and daughter, Will and Tom, thrive in the wilderness, embracing a life of solitude far removed from the chaos of urban existence. The beauty of nature surrounds them, providing a peaceful backdrop to their daily routines.
It's really nice work.
Will and Tom's life in the forest feels like a modern-day Swiss Family Robinson. Except, instead of a tropical paradise, they've got the Pacific Northwest drizzle and a tent that's seen better days. It's a life they didn't choose, but one they've learned to survive, because sometimes the world leaves you no other options. Will the father takes the lead in teaching his daughter how to survive in the wild. He collects rainwater for drinking and grows food in the forest, while Tom assists him diligently. Their bond is strong, evident in the way they work together seamlessly.
Whoa, excellent hole.
At night, they sleep in a tent, a setup that resembles camping but is for them a permanent way of life. The next day, Tom ventures into the forest to gather wood and other useful items. During her exploration, she stumbles upon a group of people clearing trees and marking their territory with a stone. It becomes clear that Will and Tom are living on public land. Tom's discovery of the deforestation crew feels like a dystopian scene. Chainsaws buzzing, a stone planted like a curse. Even in the wild, bureaucracy finds you. Unlike McCandless, who chose the wild, Will and Tom were pushed into it. Tom quietly retreats before the men notice her. Back at their tent, Tom begins chopping mushrooms for their meal while Will struggles to start a fire. Frustrated, she steps in and uses a small gas stove to cook the mushrooms instead. Though hungry, Will is visibly annoyed at what he sees as a waste of their limited resources. Will's frustration isn't just about the gas stove, it's about losing control. Every compromise feels like a step closer to the world he's trying to escape. After eating, they sit together and Tom shares her unease about the people she saw in the forest. Will reacts with discomfort, clearly troubled by the news. Later, they venture deeper into the woods to practice evading or hiding from potential intruders. Their long-term survival in the forest raises questions about why they live in such secrecy.
Your socks.
What?
Your socks burned you.
That night, Will is plagued by nightmares, his restlessness hinting at deeper issues. His inability to sleep suggests that their isolated lifestyle is rooted in something more than a simple desire for solitude. His nightmares are a relentless loop of war and guilt, haunting him even in sleep. Trauma doesn't fade, it follows you even into the forest's quiet. The following day, Will and Tom embark on a long journey through the forest, eventually reaching the outskirts of the city. Their purpose is to gather essential supplies, but before heading to a grocery store, Will stops at a hospital to pick up medication. This raises questions about how they sustain themselves financially given their reclusive existence. Will in the city is like a wolf in a shopping mall. Awkward, tense, and heartbreaking. The forest's freedom feels miles away. After collecting packages from the hospital, they proceed to the store. Once their shopping is complete, they return to the forest, walking along the highway. Along the way, Will encounters other individuals living in the woods.
With Sannies.
He distributes some of the pills he obtained from the hospital and collects money in return. It soon becomes apparent that Will is not alone in seeking refuge in the forest. Others too have fled society, all grappling with post-traumatic stress disorder (PTSD), stemming from traumatic experiences. Will's forest pharmacy is a lifeline for him and other veterans. It's a sad truth, society pushes its heroes to the margins, forcing them to fend for themselves. He has been selling PTSD medication to these individuals, and the income from these transactions sustains him and Tom. Back at their tent, Tom reads a book she purchased while Will prepares their meal. Suddenly, Tom spots a biker and immediately hides, avoiding any interaction.
Hello? Somebody up there?
Later, as they play chess in their tent, they hear noises and footsteps. A group of people approaches, and they quickly flee, hiding deep in the forest as they have practiced. However, the intruders are authorities accompanied by dogs, who eventually track down and capture Will and Tom.
Hands on the back of your head.
Will is arrested, and Tom, unable to remain hidden, surrenders as well. Trusting the authorities, she makes a final attempt to retrieve her belongings from their forest home. Tom is taken to a refugee center, where she struggles to adapt to her new surroundings. The communal environment feels alien to her, and she finds it difficult to connect with the other girls.
Are you just gonna stand there?
Her life of isolation has left her ill-prepared for this new reality. Government officers, including a woman named Jean, assess her mental abilities and discover that she is more knowledgeable than most children her age. However, her lack of social skills becomes apparent as she struggles to interact with others. Will taught her to read and write, but without exposure to the outside world, she finds it challenging to navigate this new interactive environment.
Who taught you how to read?
My dad teaches me.
Meanwhile, Will is placed in a separate room and subjected to automated questions about his emotional and physical well-being. Exhausted and overwhelmed, he is forced to confront painful memories from his past, which only deepen his trauma. His prolonged isolation has made it nearly impossible for him to reintegrate into society. His sole concern is Tom's well-being. Doctors attempt to calm him, but his fears persist. He is told that returning to their secluded life in the forest is no longer an option, and that he must provide a normal life for Tom or risk losing her forever. Soon, Will and Tom are taken to a rural area where a man named Walters offers them a service house. Officer Jean introduces them to Mr. Walters, who encourages Will to join his farm, providing an opportunity for stability and a fresh start.
No, I'm just happy we could make this work.
Will and Tom, having endured so much, now face the daunting task of adjusting to this new chapter in their lives. Though their old way of life is gone, they must find a way to build a future free from the shadows of their past. Jean's words linger in Will's mind as she urges him to let go of his trauma and move forward. She promises weekly meetings to help him rebuild his life before departing, leaving Will and Tom to navigate their new reality. That night, Tom visits Will in his bedroom. He sits her down and reveals that the police informed him someone had spotted her on the day of their capture, leading to their discovery. Tom admits she didn't want to alarm him or force them to leave.
I saw a person, but I didn't think they saw me.
However, it's clear that Will is still uncomfortable around here and wishes he could go back. The following day, Will starts working on Mr. Walters' farm. Jean arrives with a bicycle for Tom, a gift that brings a smile to Tom's face. However, Will reacts with indifference, insisting they don't need more possessions. His lack of gratitude is evident. Jean also asks Will to sign some paperwork quickly so Tom can enroll in a nearby school, a step that would help her blend in with other children her age. After Jean leaves, Will takes Tom outside to teach her how to ride the bike.
Put your legs into it. Look where you want to go.
Slowly, Tom begins to adapt to their new life. And for the first time, Will feels a glimmer of acceptance toward the changes. Yet, his past trauma lingers, resurfacing unexpectedly and casting a shadow over his progress. The next morning, they attend church with their neighbors. The experience feels welcoming, especially for Tom, who can't stop talking about the church's various activities and groups she's been invited to join.
God created frogs.
Yeah.
She's excited about the opportunities ahead and the life unfolding before her. However, Will dismisses the experience, telling Tom they went to church only to create a certain impression among the people. The following day, Will struggles deeply. Anxiety grips him, and he feels unresolved and dissatisfied with his life. He finds it hard to adjust, and even the simple task of cutting trees for work becomes a challenge. While Will battles his inner turmoil, Tom explores her new surroundings. During her wanderings, she spots a rabbit on the road and is delighted by its presence. Determined to return it to its owner, she meets a boy named Isaiah, who shares her fascination with rabbits. They strike up a conversation and quickly bond over their common interest.
Is that what you want to do in the future? Be a farmer?
Isaiah shows Tom the house he's building and shares his dream of becoming a farmer one day. He invites Tom to his home, and she eagerly accepts. They spend time together, eating and talking while Tom pets the rabbit. They agree to meet regularly so she can continue spending time with the rabbit. In the midst of this newfound friendship, Tom loses track of time and forgets to return home. Meanwhile, Will grows increasingly anxious about her absence.
Tom!
He paces around the house, his worry escalating into panic as he waits for her. When Tom finally returns home late, she explains about the boy she met and their conversation about rabbits. But Will is furious. A brief argument ensues, though Tom remains calm. She tells Will that perhaps it's time for both of them to fully embrace their new life and move forward. Will admits they've been adapting, wearing new clothes, living in a house, and eating the food of this world. But he insists that's enough.
The only place we can't be seen is in this house.
His anxiety about people and his desire to remain hidden are overwhelming. Tom tears up at his words, realizing that his reluctance might mean she'll be mocked for being different by the new friends she hopes to make. The next day, Tom attends the rabbit care class Isaiah invited her to, standing beside him as they learn how to inspect a rabbit. During the class, she notices other girls and boys her age, catching glimpses of the social life she's beginning to experience. Tom's rabbit care class is her first taste of normalcy, a small but precious glimpse of the life she's missed growing up in her father's shadow. At home, Jean visits Will to deliver important documents related to their housing, which are crucial for their independence. She also brings phones for both of them, hoping to help them adjust to modern life.
It's important for you to follow through so you guys can remain independent.
However, Will reacts with a somber and cold demeanor, clearly disapproving of the assistance she offers. Over time, Will begins to understand the purpose behind their changed circumstances. He sees how Tom is bonding with others and becoming part of the community. Early the next morning, he wakes Tom and tells her to pack only her essential belongings. They are leaving. Though reluctant, Tom complies and gathers her things. Will leaving Dale's community is like walking into a snowstorm. For him, safety feels like a trap, and the forest, harsh as it is, feels like freedom. Within a few hours, they arrive at the forest and walk a long distance to their previous tent location. However, they find their belongings destroyed, a stark reminder that their old life is no longer an option. Troubled, Tom asks Will if he even tried his best to adapt to their new life.
Did you even try?
I did.
Will insists he did, but argues that the rules of society would have separated them if he hadn't followed them. It's clear, though, that Will's skepticism and resentment toward living in the community run deep. Desperate, they seek help from others living in the forest. But everyone is struggling with their own hardships. With no other options, Will decides to head north, hoping for a fresh start. Tom follows reluctantly, questioning why they are living like homeless people when others have offered them kindness and support for free.
Why are we doing this?
Meanwhile, the authorities are actively searching for them. After a tense journey, Will and Tom board a bus, hoping to evade capture. When the bus drops them off, they sit for a while and Tom confronts Will. She tells him they weren't like this before. They are now acting like fugitives and it's bothering her. Will insists they are fine, but his words lack conviction. Shortly after, Will finds a man heading north who agrees to help them, though he seems suspicious.
I'm gonna give you a ride. I need to know a few things.
Tom remains quiet about their situation, and the man eventually agrees to assist them. Their journey continues until they reach Washington, where they disembark near a forest. The cold temperatures make the journey difficult, and Tom struggles to climb the mountain.
We've got to move quickly.
Exhausted and weak, she faces immense hardship, but Will refuses to leave her side.
Where are you going?
We're going to keep moving.
As night falls and the cold intensifies, Will builds a shelter from grass to keep them warm. Despite the harsh conditions, his determination to protect Tom never wavers. Their bond remains strong, and Will is resolved to give Tom the best life possible, even in the face of adversity. The next day, they wake up and manage to get water by squeezing wet grass. They continue their journey, and fortunately, they find an empty house and they decide to take shelter there. After resting, having something to eat, they feel better, and Will declares that this will be their home for as long as they need. Tom feels content with the house and her father's support, but realizes they will need supplies to live comfortably. She asks Will if they can stay longer, understanding that building a stable life will take time. The next morning, they make a list of necessities, and Will decides to go to the city to gather supplies. Tom wishes him luck as he leaves. As time passes, Tom grows restless and begins going through Will's old belongings. It's then that she learns about his painful past. He was once an army officer, but the trauma of the Iraq War shattered him. Until dawn, she waits anxiously for Will to return, but he doesn't come back. She makes herself something to eat and spends the night alone. The next morning, there is still no sign of Will, and Tom begins worrying. Realizing she needs to act, Tom sets out to find him. After a short walk into the forest, she sadly discovers him badly injured in the distance. Panicked, she approaches and touches his body, hoping he'll wake up, but he remains unconscious. Desperate, she hears a motor noise and seeks help.
He's by the stream.
She finds people nearby who assist her, bringing Will to their home. There, they meet a woman named Dale, who is willing to take them in. We will later learn that she is also a PTSD survivor herself. Quickly, she offers to call a doctor, but Tom refuses, fearing it will expose Will's condition and his past.
Can you not call anyone?
When Dale asks if they're in trouble, Tom insists her father simply doesn't like questions being asked about his past. Understanding the situation, Dale calls her army doctor friend to examine Will. The doctor confirms that Will has suffered a severe leg injury, which will prevent him from walking for an extended period.
All right, easy, let me have it. I'm gonna have to pull this boot off, it's gonna hurt.
That night, Dale asks Tom if they're fugitives, urging her to be honest because the community doesn't want trouble. Tom assures her it's not that kind of running. After Dale leaves, Will wakes up, tears in his eyes, and apologizes to Tom for not being able to overcome his condition. The next day, Dale, recognizing the signs of PTSD, offers Will and Tom shelter. Other veterans live in their own RVs nearby, and Dale hopes Will feel comfortable there. She has helped other survivors like Will in the past. While Will is grateful, his discomfort is evident. He's still uneasy. Though he doesn't want to accept the help, he knows it's the best option for both of them. During their stay, Tom begins to connect with the people around her, feeling a sense of belonging and forming new friendships.
Do you know what these boxes are?
No.
She starts to see them as her new family, but also gets to realize the depth of her father's pain. Concerned, Tom speaks to the army doctor who suggests bringing Will a dog for comfort. The doctor shares that a dog helped him heal from his own trauma, and Tom hopes it might do the same for Will. She brings the dog to him, hoping it will make a difference. She also introduces Will to the beauty of the place, and for the first time, he begins to relax.
You can feel the warmth of the hive.
He also watches the sunset, listens to others playing music, and for a moment, their new life seems to be working. Tom feels she has finally found the home and happiness she's longed for. The next day, she decides to make this place her permanent home with Will. She pays Dale some money as a deposit, planning to stay there for a long time.
Can you grab that out of the bag? Dale, I really like living here.
However, Will's trauma remains, and despite the love and comfort around him, he's unable to fully heal. The next day, Will decides to leave, packing his things and asking Tom to come with him.
I don't want to leave.
Overwhelmed by the constant turmoil, Tom breaks down and tells him that he's the one who needs to do this, not her. But despite her words, she begins packing her things, ready to leave with him. But shortly into their journey, Tom stops. She tells Will that if he wants to leave, he can, but she won't go with him. She can no longer carry his pain and wants to stay. Will, already feeling guilty for making her a victim of his trauma, lets her go. It's a very emotional moment if you think about it. Tom can't cope with his decisions, and Will is already overpowered by his illness. They both tear up, share a heartfelt hug, and say their emotional goodbyes. Tom walks away, returning to the RV house, determined to find her own happiness. Will watches her go, knowing she will no longer bear the weight of his struggles. Though part of her wishes Will could stay with her, she realizes she has the right to be happy and must let go of the past. She chooses to live a normal life. In the final scene, Will walks into the forest, lost in his suffering, returning to solitude to find his own peace. Will walking into the forest alone is heartbreaking but necessary. In letting Tom go, he gives her the chance at a normal life he is unable to adapt. At least, not in this lifetime. Meanwhile, Tom reunites with Dale's community. The film ends with a somber truth about American war veterans and how their traumatic experiences make their lives so difficult that redemption feels out of reach.